My husband's voice shattered the quiet of the kitchen before the phone even touched my ear. Why would you say that to her? His tone, sharp, frantic, ricocheted off the stainless steel fridge as if it had been waiting all morning for an excuse to explode. The unopened mail on the counter trembled beneath his hand, and for a moment I wasn't sure which one of us he wanted to throw. I stared at him, the phone still warm from his mother's call. The same mother who, yesterday, mailed me gourmet chocolates packed in ice as if they were some precious gift. The same mother whose voice cracked, almost broke, when she asked, "How are the chocolates?" And the same woman who went silent, dead silent, when I smiled and answered, "My husband ate them all." Her breath hitched, a single trembling pause. Then, "What? Are you serious?" She hung up before I could respond. And now my husband stood in front of me, colorless, terrified, like he already knew exactly what I had just detonated. I wiped my thumb across the counter, picking up a smear of condensation from where the chocolate box had sat last night. "Call her back," he demanded. "Tell her you were joking." I didn't move. I didn't blink, because for the first time in months he was the one panicking, and I wasn't done watching him unravel. I used to think his mother's smile meant warmth. The first night I met her, she hugged me tightly, told me I was a breath of fresh air, and insisted I stay for dessert. He beamed at her approval. I saw the boy he had been, the one who chased her affection like sunlight. Back then, I had believed their love was complicated, not toxic. Back then, I mistook her scrutiny for concern. He told me she just needed time. I gave her years, and I gave him everything: trust, patience, the kind of loyalty that women in movies get punished for. But real betrayal isn't cinematic. It's slow, quiet, and it starts with details small enough to ignore. It began with nights he came home smelling like her perfume, the brand she claimed gave her headaches. He told me she'd hugged him after dinner. "You know how she is," he said. I did, just not in the way he hoped. Then came the secretive texts, the late-night whispered calls behind the garage, the way he locked his phone when it never used to matter. But the moment that slit the truth open was a message he forgot to delete. A single line from his mother. Did she suspect anything after the doctor's appointment? Not your appointment. The same week my birth control pills went missing from the cabinet. My stomach didn't drop. My heart didn't break. Everything inside me just shifted. Quiet click. A woman doesn't need to scream to know she's been betrayed. Sometimes silence tells the story faster. I didn't confront him. Not immediately. Not ever the way he expected. While he lied with the enthusiasm of a child caught with sticky hands, I took notes. I tracked calls. I photographed receipts. I recorded dates. Every piece was a stitch in the net I was weaving. He believed I was withdrawing, becoming distant. He misread it as emotional fatigue. But it wasn't fatigue. It was calculation. Because when a man and his mother conspire to manipulate you, your body, your choices, your future, you don't give them a second chance. You give them consequences. Step 1 was simple. I stopped arguing, stopped questioning, stopped reacting. He relaxed, assuming victory. She grew smug, certain she'd regained control. Step 2. I visited an attorney, quietly, efficiently, armed with proof. Step 3. Financial preparation. Joint accounts redirected. My earnings rerouted. His withdrawals documented. Step 4. I played my part. The soft-spoken wife. The forgiving wife. The wife who was finally understanding his mother better. The illusion worked. And then came the chocolates. Refrigerated. Overly expensive. Unnecessary. But the moment I opened the box, I saw it. A small corner of a wrapper lifted. Faint puncture, needle fine. And tucked beneath the inner cardboard panel, a note in her handwriting. Happy birthday. Enjoy. Nothing incriminating. Not legally. But I knew what she'd done. And more importantly, she thought I wouldn't. So I left the chocolates on the counter, untouched, in plain view. He ate them without asking. And I let him. Now he stood in front of me, breath unsteady, fear crawling up his neck like a rash. "What did you tell her?" he repeated, voice cracking this time. That you ate them all. His face drained of color, dread blooming where arrogance used to sit. You need to tell her you didn't, he whispered. Why? I tilted my head, watching him sweat. She sent them to me. He swallowed, hard. And in that tiny motion, everything clicked. He knew. He'd known. He'd eaten them because he trusted her. Or because he knew they weren't meant to harm him. But they did. They harmed everything he built with her. Everything they planned behind my back. Because she didn't know he'd eaten them until I told her. And now she was calling him. Over and over. Panicking. Her voice had trembled. His did too. Exactly as planned. I walked past him. Calm. Collected. Already savoring the next step of the unfolding disaster. The attorney would call him tomorrow. The financial statements were already filed. And his mother, his partner in betrayal, was about to confess far more than she realized in her frantic attempts to cover herself. He grabbed my arm. Why are you doing this? I looked at him the way doctors look at incurable conditions. Because you thought I wouldn't notice, I said. And she thought I wouldn't fight back. I slipped free of his grip, feeling lighter than I had in months. Enjoy the chocolates, I added quietly. They were the last gift you'll ever receive from me. And as I stepped out of the kitchen, his phone rang again. His mother's name glowing like a warning flare. I didn't turn back. Some endings don't need witnesses.